I was too busy replaying the ways I didn't get it just right. It happened in the smallest of moments, but isn't that always how perfection sneaks in? I was writing an email to a client, something I've done hundreds of times. The deal was already in motion, the details clear. But I found myself rewriting the same sentence again and again, changing a word, moving a comma, deleting, retyping. Hours passed over what should have taken minutes. When I finally pressed send, my chest didn't loosen. Instead, I felt a jolt of panic. What if I missed something? What if I didn't sound professional enough? What if they see the flaws I didn't catch? Later that night, I sat at my desk, staring at the draft copies I had printed along the way. Dozens of versions of the same email, the same message. The pile of papers sat there, ink slightly smudged where I'd pressed too hard with my pen. That stack became the symbol of the week, proof of how perfection can multiply into obsession. And the thought that followed was sharp. If it isn't flawless, it isn't worth anything. That's the loop I've been caught in. Not just working hard, but clinging so tightly to perfection that even when I finish, I don't feel free. Perfection is seductive. It tells us that if we could just get everything right, life would finally feel safe. For me, perfection always carried the promise of protection. Growing up, I thought if I did things flawlessly, I could avoid criticism. If I excelled, I could earn approval. If I never slipped, I would never be rejected. But the truth is, perfection doesn't protect, it just imprisons. Maybe you've felt this too. Do you find yourself over-editing, over-preparing, overthinking, long after something is already good enough? Do you hold back from sharing your work because it isn't flawless yet? Do you feel more panic than peace, even when you've done well? The cycle is cruel. You chase perfection to feel worthy, but the more you chase it, the less worthy you feel, because perfection always moves the goalpost. Perfection promises safety, but presence delivers peace. I wish someone had told me sooner that good enough is already enough. That being present in the moment matters more than polishing it endlessly. That stack of draft emails. At first, it looked like proof of my failure to get it right. But later, I saw it differently. It was proof of care. Proof that I showed up, that I gave thought, that I tried. The perfection I was clinging to only hid the truth. The message had always been clear enough. So let's pause here. One breath in, one breath out. Not to erase the urge for perfection, but to remind ourselves, peace doesn't come from flawless execution. It comes from presence. Let's reset together. If you'd like, find somewhere to sit comfortably. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath find a rhythm. This week, we'll practice with body scan and affirmation layering, using that pile of draft emails as our symbol. Reset 1. Body scan. Close your eyes if that feels good. Take a slow breath in through your nose and release through your mouth. Bring your attention to your forehead. Notice if it's tense, as though still reviewing every detail. Let it soften. Move to your jaw. If it's clenched, loosen it. To your shoulders. heavy with the weight of not enough. Let them drop. To your chest, notice if it feels tight, as though holding back a storm of doubt. Breathe gently into it. Down to your stomach. If there's a knot there, imagine it loosening. Into your legs, let them rest. Into your feet, pressing softly into the ground. With each exhale, imagine placing one draft email down onto the desk, releasing it, letting it go. Repeat softly inside. I can let this be enough. Reset 2. Affirmation layering. Now, let's layer words into the body's calm. Whisper first, softly. Presence is peace. Again, a little stronger. Presence is peace. Now, with your full breath, presence is peace. Imagine the pile of draft emails shrinking with each affirmation. The stack doesn't tower anymore. It softens into just one page, the final message, proof that it was always enough. Presence is peace. If you'd like, unclench your hands. Shake them out gently, as though releasing the stack of papers. Roll your shoulders, stretch your arms forward, palms open, a gesture of release. I notice now, my breath feels deeper. That stack of papers doesn't loom in my mind anymore. It just looks like what it always was. Pages that serve their purpose, then let go. That's the shift. Perfection didn't bring safety. Letting go brought peace. Even pausing here is progress. You didn't need to shred the entire stack of drafts. You just needed to remember that one page, one effort was always enough. Presence is peace. Here's a reflection to carry into the week. Where am I clinging to perfection? And what might it feel like to let presence be enough instead? Tomorrow may still bring emails, tasks, projects that tempt me to polish endlessly. But tonight, I remembered, peace doesn't wait at the end of perfection. It arrives the moment you choose presence. And tonight, I'm grateful for the ink smudges that remind me of care, for the final email that was always clear enough, and for the quiet relief of letting perfection go, even just for this moment.